Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. It is myself going, still internetless here. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am editing or commentating this on Friday, the day that my internet is supposed to be getting fixed. I'm literally looking out the window right now hoping that I see the internet service come and save the day for me. If my day gets saved, you will see NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode Phoenix. I think it will be on Friday, so stay tuned. We landed here in Atlanta, though. We were ready to go racing, fresh off of the West Coast swing, coming to a conclusion where we had our ups and downs. We kind of struggled in Auto Club, then we ran pretty decent in Las Vegas. Didn't quite get as good of a finish as I had hoped, and then, of course, we had our issues at the end of Phoenix after having, I would say, a career best run, as I don't really count Daytona in terms of a career run. So it was a good day, and then it went wrong. And we took off from Phoenix, end up here in Atlanta with the brand new Flow Racing Toyota Camry with this number 45. Another scheme made by Sanok, actually, here as we get some laps under our belt in practice, trying to just find a nice flow in the car, nice rhythm. But Atlanta in this game, it's almost like the new Atlanta in real life. It's full throttle the whole time. You don't have to really lift. Now, there is moments, sometimes the car will get tight and you do have to lift because you will actually plow into the wall here, but it's not very often, but it will 100% happen throughout the race, especially when we're in the draft here. I only ran a couple laps of practice now as we were getting ready to head into qualifying, but we had the Truck Series racing on Friday night. Stuart Friesen picked up the victory, actually. How about that? So big win there for Stuart Friesen and that number 52 team. You can see the rest of the order. John Hunter, Nemechek with issues at the bottom of the grid. Then we had, before the Xfinity race Saturday, qualifying time in this number 45. Now Atlanta, when it's a full throttle racetrack, you can kind of expect a similar qualifying result to Daytona, which is dead last, basically. So I came into this qualifying session with very low expectations, especially in a 4-star car. Now, if we're in a 5-star car, last is not an expected qualifying position here in Atlanta, but in a 4-star car, full throttle racing, there's no chance I'm going to do anything better than 40th place. So we head down into towards turn 3 and 4, and, you know, getting around the track, no issues at all, not hitting the apron, getting on that single yellow line, and we exit turn 4, and you can see the goals of 29.7, not even anywhere close. We're a full second off with a 30.731. It's, well, as expected, dead last. No pace in this car. Some work to do, obviously. You can see the rest of the starting grid on your screen here now as you see Alex Bowman, 28. A big rating change coming to him in the next episode, as you can see as well, in towards the top 10. On pole, Christopher Bell in that number 20, looking for redemption after his errors, or not his errors, his bad luck, really, in Phoenix. We then have the Xfinity Series to look over before we go racing here. Noah Gragson picking up the victory in Atlanta for the Xfinity Series, so a great day for him. We'll take a look at the standings either at the end of this episode or next episode there. You can see the rest of it, though, there with Anthony Alfredo at the bottom of the grid. Let's go racing here in the Cup Series on Sunday.
We've moved on from the West Coast and have arrived in beautiful Atlanta country. Welcome everyone to Atlanta Motor Speedway as the Cup Series is set to take on the roughest surface on the schedule.
What do you think, old Mikey boy? Who's gonna get her done today?
I got my eyes on Larson today. He's great at these tracks, but only time will tell.
Alright team, we got a bit of work to do today, but honestly, I think our car is going to be pretty decent in the draft, so hopefully we can get a nice top 20, top 25 at least.
Just keep the nose in one piece and we'll be in it. No pressure out there today.
You hear myself on the radio with our crew chief ready to go racing here. The stories of the race. Austin Dillon, it pays to be nice. I should get some drafting help from him. Let me know if you want to have maybe Mike Joy and Clint Bowyer cover the actual stories of the race in the future. Noah Gragson gave up qualifying position for new tires here. He will not be in that 62 car starting next episode. I'm not going to tell you who's in it, but next episode is Mid-Ohio. But we're ready to focus in on oval racing still here in Atlanta. We are underway from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old Atlanta that races similar at times to the new Atlanta with the way NASCAR Heat 5 is. So it's really not that big of a difference other than the actual visual aspect of this racetrack. Now there is going to be still some separation that you will see as this race kind of carries on. Now as you can see myself immediately getting aggressive here, I got no time to wait around here now. We have not picked up any stage points this season. That is something I would like to change today, or if not today, very soon. However, I'm honestly pretty unexpectedly, I'm not really expecting a top 10 is what I'm trying to say here in stage 1, 2, or 3. This car, in the 4-star pace that we have, it just doesn't have that kind of speed here today in Atlanta. Now, we have seen some back and forth. We have a team meeting coming up with 2311 Racing coming in the next episode that we're going to talk about the competition and where our cars are at, because we're kind of seeing this back and forth between myself and Bubba Wallace right now. One race, I run really solid, Bubba runs horrendously. The next race, Bubba runs really well, and then I run where he ran the previous week, and it seems to go back and forth, and that has basically put us in very similar point situations right now, and both of us outside of the playoffs looking in, but like I said, very similar to each other in terms of the amount of points that we have. But we do have a competition team meeting coming up in the next episode at Mid-Ohio, that you guys will be able to listen in on a little bit now. As you can see, lap 4 of 25 stage is pretty long here in Atlanta, but I'm moving myself forward, so that was a positive. But the draft was so important to have here in Atlanta. If you don't have the draft, it is so difficult to go forward here, and it's just like real life Atlanta. If you don't have the draft, good luck at this point. But obviously this is still that old configuration. You can see myself behind that 51 of Zane Smith. He is going to be doing a couple more races, and then Rigware Racing is going to be experimenting for the 20 some odd races that we have left remaining on the season with who's going to be in that car. Here you see me up the inside of Brad Keselowski, not having a great day here. Another driver that will be getting a rating change going into the next episode is at number 6 of Brad Keselowski. I'm trying to balance it out and get it close-ish to the 2022 season, and then we're going to start that story progression. So it's going to be very exciting to let that kind of go and see what happens now. As you can see, Zane Smith, this is what happens when I have nobody to draft off of. Zane Smith runs me back down and is able to pass me on the inside. It is impossible to do anything without draft.
Not much we can do here. Just keep pushing.
Optimism, I guess maybe the key word from our crew chief here today, as we now actually lost a spot to the 62 as well. But then you can see once they go up to the outside, I'm able to fight back here on the inside. So you do not want to leave the inside here in Atlanta. It's a death wish. Ryan Blaney's still out in front. He took the lead early and has been dominating ever since, but we are only 11 laps in. Feels like we are way longer into the race with the amount of quote-unquote action that we've been involving ourselves with here. But pit stops were already beginning here on lap 13, so I was getting ready to make a green flag pit stop of my own here. Everybody was putting about 6-7 laps left on field. I come in with 5 laps left on field. Alex Bowman's coming in. I decided to use him as my cue. You see the 31 of Justin Haley still on the track taking the lead of this race. We made a big gain into the pit lane there, but simple. It's going to be 2 cans of fuel. It is going to be as well 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And once again, you see, one thing I would like to see of this mod, I don't know if it'll happen because of animations with the pit crew, but single lug pit stops being authentic would be really cool, because obviously we've got the single lug nut wheel, but it is just the 5 lug nut animation and sounds and whatnot. Now, I still do not know when the release date is of this mod. I actually reached out into the Discord and I haven't heard back actually, and it's been, I think, close to a week now. But I do know that team, HighC, he kind of disappears for a little bit and then he comes back with an absolute like bombshell for everybody. He's a crazy. It's what he's doing and with that team is absolutely incredible. So once I hear back from them and I get to go ahead to let you guys know, you can expect me to let you know on the news there. Passing now the 48 of Alex Bowman there. This is only for 29th place. Bowman having a really rough start to the season here, as Ryan Blaney was still leading already though at the final couple of moments here in stage number 1. White flag in the air for myself. Ryan Blaney's less than a straightaway behind me by the end of stage 1. He's crossing the line to now win the stage, so a playoff point to the number 12 Penske driver is going to be P29 for us whenever 10th place officially crosses the line, which I don't expect any second. There it is right there. Caution comes out, stage 1, P29. A really clean opening stage. We've seen a lot of tire issues with this debut of this 2022 next-gen car. However, here in Atlanta, where I expected to see more tire issues than we have all season long, so far, we haven't seen a single issue. However, everybody's going to come into the pits here, get 4 tires, get ready to go back racing. We gain 1 spot in the pit lane, so up into now P28. I see Chase Elliott up there struggling a little bit, a few rows up ahead. Joining him on that row is Austin Cindric, but we are back underway here from Atlanta. Ryan Blaney, your stage 1 winner, won the race out of the pit lane as well and leads the way for this 23-lap stage 2. So a few extra laps less here as I got Kaz Gralla up my inside. Now that's a car, that 50 car right there. I'd love to replace that 50 car with a different part-time car, but currently I don't have any options to, because this mod is so new and it's not to the public and whatnot, so I don't really have any options to replace it because no one's making any Camaros. So anybody watching that has the templates, honestly, if you want templates and you know how to make paint schemes, I can get those templates to you. And if you want to make some part-time cars just for some fun storyline stuff, let me know. I would love to replace that 50 car and not have it running every race and have an actual part-time car with a different driver and whatnot in that car as well. And Project 91, of course, is going to be happening hopefully here with this storyline. We'll see Kimi Räikkönen. I got a couple of ideas up my sleeve that I think some of you guys might enjoy quite a bit here. And as well, I want to do some things that are just realistic. Nothing that's crazy like my last career mode. Last career mode, I brought in McLaren, I brought in Red Bull. Red Bull, I think you might see return in this career mode because it kind of makes sense. They were in NASCAR before, but I'm not going to do anything crazy where Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton come to NASCAR. As cool as it was, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do it anymore. Now, I would do an F1 driver to NASCAR if it just simply made sense. And we'll probably likely more see an IndyCar driver end up in this NASCAR storyline and whatnot. But nonetheless, focus back in on our progress going forward. We've been slowly moving forward. We're at the halfway point of the stage, and we're in this little battle here with the 17 of Chris Buescher, but then he decides to pit at the end of lap 12, and then he is going to basically kick off that green flag pit cycle here midway through stage number 2. You can see a whole bunch of cars pitting here. Martin Truex Jr. to the lead, and there's Daniel Suarez around in the tri-oval. Multiple cars involved, the 42 and the 34. My AI plows into the side of 2 different cars. Fortunately, the caution was already out, so I don't actually pick up any damage from it. We might be slow on the restart, but we're going to come in and staying out there. I don't know if that's really benefited us or not. I mean, we are down to 24th, so a relatively similar position to where we originally were, but look who does not go. It's the 42 and myself. We cannot get rolling on this restart because of that glitch in NASCAR Heat 5 that never got repaired. So now we have a little bit of work to do down towards turn 1. Todd Gilliland, fellow rookie, trying to get clear down into the corner here. We're going to be side by side. I'm at his quarter panel now, but I think he's going to have the advantage once we exit turn 2 down this back straightaway. Surprisingly, he didn't pull ahead and clear as quickly as I thought. We were still barely at his quarter down into turn 3. Now he is officially clear. He's going to drop down to the inside. Ryan Blaney loses the lead to my teammate of Bubba Wallace in the 23, and this is kind of a plate style track even in NASCAR Heat 5, so to see Bubba Wallace in the mix right now racing for the lead and for a potential win, not surprising whatsoever. Bubba Wallace, one of the top drivers when it comes to restrictor plate racing, along with a Ryan Blaney as well as Joey Logano and a Denny Hamlin. You see myself now fading a little bit though. I got up to the outside, I allowed a few cars on my inside, and then it was basically just try to get down as quick as you can. Cindric got past us, Keselowski now, McDowell, Zane Smith's back to my inside. Fortunately, I thought I was going to have an opportunity to get down, then it didn't happen because then Garrett Smithley comes up, but I finally got clear, got down to the inside, and then we're actually going to go repass that number 51 of Zane Smith. So back to P28, Kyle Larson was back here, so was Chris Buescher. They got screwed because of the pit stop and the yellow flag coming out at an awkward time. And now you can see, though, Larson and Buescher both absolutely hauling the mail as there's a 9 of Chase Elliott crashing. A big moment there. The caution's going to fly, and Elliott was head on into the outside wall. I didn't even notice it as I was going down into the corner until it was like too late to where, thank goodness, the caution came out and that car didn't come crashing down because I wouldn't have time to react to that. Bubba Wallace wins stage 2 as that does end stage 2 a few laps early, so we are going to pit. Now, Chase Elliott, not out of the race. Just like Daniel Suarez, he took a huge hit to the outside wall, but he's not out of the race, so we will continue on, and I decide to make a curveball call. No tires, half a can of fuel. It puts us P3.
All right, just full send, risky call, but let's see how it goes here.
Our crew chief has made a bold call. Well, it worked. That's the question. Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain lead the field back to the green flag. I was convinced 30 laps to go. There's another pit stop on the way. Taking no tires here might not be the end of the world. We might be able to hold on, and especially because we're going to have the draft from these cars up here. So we could get a pretty decent run in this beginning of the stage and hopefully hold on till a green flag pit stop or a caution, either one. Bubba Wallace takes the high line down into turn 3, and look at this, the door opens wide open. We're 3 wide for the lead with Ross Chastain, who backs out of it in the middle there. We clear all of them. To the lead we go. I believe for the first time in our Cup Series career, we're going to lead a lap. Not the way I expected to, but we lead here in stage number 3 across the line in Atlanta, but it was a very quick reality check because Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, the 12 of Ryan Blaney, they all blow my doors off here on the exit of turn 2, including Martin Truex Jr., and then the downfall, it would start. I was getting blown away by everything. There goes the 43 of Jones to the outside, the 20 to the inside. Kaz Grala's running in the top 10 right now, trying to pass me. I don't know how he got up here. There goes Kyle Busch. There goes the number 60 of Kurt Busch, his brother there, following back in P8. And then I'm actually going to plow really tight turn 1 and 2 into the outside wall we go. More contact. We are 4 wide on the exit of turn 4. I get squeezed into the wall by the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. That was just wrong place, wrong time. Bad, awkward timing to get into the outside wall, and now the damage has been done and we continue to fall down to 20th place, but it wasn't over yet. Denny Hamlin, my boss, Alex Bowman, the 5 of Larson, everybody that I could think of was going around my outside or inside, basically. The 23 of Bubba Wallace out in front currently here. So here's my teammate. We talked about it earlier, how we kind of swap roles every race, it feels like, where I run good, then he runs bad, then he runs good, and I run bad. It's happening again today. I'm down to 29th place and we still have fast cars here. Here's the 51 of Smith, the 9 of Elliott as well. Not much I could do at this point. The no tire call was awful. We were holding on though to P30, and we finally, on lap 59, would finally settle in. Ryan Blaney had taken the lead from Bubba Wallace, but we were settling into the 30th spot and actually starting to get a more level playing field here. Martin Truex Jr. now to the lead, but it was looking like green flag pit stops were going to be on the way, and there goes Chris Buescher to my inside. He struggled to get moving forward, but he finally did, and now down to P31. But I was already looking at a pit stop, and when was that going to be? We got 21 laps to go when I was making this move up the inside of the 51, and down into turn 3, we will get clear of Zane Smith. So back into the top 30, we would then run down the number 7 of Corey LaJoie, but pit stops were kicking off. You see it on the track map. Here we go, and more cars pitting. That's the 17 of Buescher, who's been pitting earlier than everybody all race long, but the caution is going to come out with 19 laps to go, so this is going to force everybody into the pit lane at the same time. It's an obvious call for myself. 4 tires. There's nothing else that we can do in terms of strategy. You can see Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, your top 3 currently. So we'll get ready to go green. We gain 1 spot, so up into P28 for this restart. Obviously, a lot of work to do. We're going to get back underway. It's about 15 laps remaining in this race. Chase Elliott, he has been having a rough one. He's on my inside there as we cross the stripe, and in this Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 now. It's not been the Atlanta that we would have liked to have, but I'm not surprised by how it's been going. But we've been on both ends of the field. We've been at the back, we've been up at the front, we've been in the middle, of course. So I certainly enjoy the front of the pack more, I've noticed now, as we head down this back stretch. And like I said, though, you know, it's a 4-star car for the first season of 2311 racing in this career. Obviously the second season for the actual team itself, but this rookie season is not meant to be easy, and it's not going to be easy. There's going to be moments where we have chances to get good top 10 finishes. There's going to be a chance this season, a guarantee, multiple chances to win a race. It's just, when is it going to come? We got to play our cards right. Talladega is obviously the first one I got circled. Mid-Ohio, I love my road courses, but I don't really expect the car to have the pace there. I think we'll have a good top 10 run, though, in Mid-Ohio for the first time since the Daytona 500. 11 laps to go. Alex Bowman going by on the inside. It's been an awful day for him, and I've been seeing him more than I think anybody. Maybe Zane Smith I've seen a little bit more than that 48 Ally Financial Chevrolet, but instead of going for the overtake, I actually try to push Bowman, and I would draft him all the way up to this next group of cars, and then I would take the opportunity to slip up the inside and clear him for 28th place, and now try to run down that 50 of Kaz Grala, who would actually start driving past a few more cars. So I get to the 77 of Landon Castle, we pass him. Caution with 7 laps to go. And it's right now out in front, Justin Haley. It looks like Logano actually brought out the caution, and this is when I realized that Justin Haley was leading the race. We have already had one surprise winner. That was the number 15 of Garrett Smithley in the Daytona 500. Well, we have 3 laps to go. Smithley, if he's outside of the top 30 in the points, he will not make the playoffs, and it's looking very likely like he will not make it into the top 30. However, we might see a replacement for that spot because Justin Haley, who has not run great this season, is out in front with 3 laps to go. This is not overtime, so we are still in regulation up the inside of the 50 of Gralla. This is my opportunity, of course, to gain a few extra positions and late in this race maybe get a little bit better of a finish than what we would have gotten. We're already moved up to P23, so that's already a bit of a win, as you can see myself behind the 2 of Cindric, but it was basically riding behind him all the way through this lap, approaching the final lap up the inside of Chase Elliott. White flag is in the air for the 31 of Justin Haley. A little bit of door-to-door contact briefly with the 9 of Elliott as we head down into turn 1. Haley is under attack from the 23 of Bubba Wallace, looking to get to victory lane, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Haley has the momentum as I'm going to go to the outside of the 2 of Cindric down this back straightaway. Suarez Harvick in front of us here. I was hoping to get clear of the 2. That will not happen, however. So down into turn 3, you can see all the way up there, it's Haley in the middle to high line, Bubba Wallace on the inside, but it's not going to matter. Justin Haley is going to win for Colleague Racing here. That's their first win as a Cup Series team. We crossed the line, and that's 22nd place. And correction very quickly, second win for Colleague Racing. I forgot about Allmendinger's win at the Indianapolis Road Course in 2021. But overall, you see the top 10 there. Eric Jones with a big day for that Petty GMS team. 22nd for us. Better than what we were going to finish without the cautions, so you got to kind of take the positives any way you can get them. Bubba Wallace with an absolutely epic run there with a runner-up finish in second. Kurt Busch actually was appearing to be the reason for that last caution. The replays didn't really give me a lot of looks at who brought out yellows today, unfortunately. But that's going to wrap it up here. You see the playoff standings, so Garrett Smithley is still in, but it's not going to be for long. Right now, Bubba Wallace is 5 points out. We've still got some work to do. Harvick the last spot in, but in the next one, we go road racing. An exciting one, a big opportunity for us to move forward, so we'll see what happens then. I'll see you guys then at Mid-Ohio. Have a great day, everybody.